Owning our side of the street can feel like a foreign concept, but here's some simple tips and tricks that will help you find neutrality and purpose in your relationship. Hi, I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions, and we are introducing our Couples Masterclass, an asynchronous self-paced learning system that will give you live feedback and support while allowing you to take the journey that you want on your time frame. And so this impressive, comprehensive class is giving couples an opportunity to learn with what their style is, no matter where they are, because most couples are yin and yang. They're looking at and perceiving the world in different ways. And no matter how they perceive the world, no matter where they are in their learning ability, I have a solution for them to be able to retain information and engage effectively using some of the best knowledge and understanding that we have for adult learning. And so in this video, what we're going to do is cover the second section of our Couples Masterclass. And in that second section, that is really hard to say, in that second session, what we're looking at is owning our side of the street. So relationships are like a Venn diagram. When one person goes into a negative cycle, it kicks the relationship part into a negative cycle and then implicitly asks the partner to go in a negative cycle. And what we're doing, as we talked a couple weeks ago, what we're doing is we're actually asking somebody else, somebody that we love and trust, sometimes one of the only people that we trust, to suffer in an effort to maintain our suffering. And a way that we do that is, if you can imagine like a street and a row of houses, and everybody that you have a relationship with, whether it's a boss, it's a coworker, it's a friend, it's a partner, everybody you interact with kind of has a house on that street. And what we naturally do, and this is nobody's fault, this is what the brain does, is it will naturally have a propensity to go and look out onto the street at all the other houses and not look at themselves. They don't turn themselves around and look at their own yard. And what that does is it's implicitly distracting from you. It's one of the over 50 clinical terms for avoidance that we get into. And remember that the brain, that primitive brain, that amygdala, is just there for survival. But in an effort for survival, what we're doing is constantly scanning the world around us for threats, that cognitive bias. And as we're scanning the world for threats, it's easier for us to look for threats in other yards than to look for threats for ourselves. But ultimately, we're not trusting ourselves very much, or we wouldn't be avoiding. Remember the negative cycle: distressing thought, feeling, or belief, avoidance, short-term relief, dopamine pull, long-term anxiety growth, long-term lack of capacity, low sense of self, low value, low motivation to do better. And so as you're avoiding, you're kicking off the negative dynamic, which again is reinforcing that attachment that we can't trust people. Whether we can't trust them to not abandon us, or we can't trust them to not make us feel like a burden or an obligation, we can't trust people. And that pulls us into that perceived reality where we start to shut things down. So in the second section of our master class, we're just finished a foundation, and now what we're looking at is owning our side of the street. And we're actually going to couple this with, so it's going to be kind of an interplay. Tomorrow I broke it down into 4 sections, but we're actually going to marry them in the couples class. But tomorrow we're going to talk about the dynamics that we build and how we get into the dynamics that we build. But for right now, what we're looking at is owning our side of the street. So you're going to be able to own your side of the street, understand why you and your partner do the things that they do. And then you're going to have a lesson on now, how does it interact? Like, how are we interacting as a result of what we're doing here? And this is not meant to enable and say, oh, babe, I get it. This is what happened. So you're always going to be like this and I can't be mad at you. No, that's not the point. That doesn't help anybody. It keeps you in suffering, keeps you in a victim mindset. And we're going to learn about behavior being predictable tomorrow. But it keeps you in triangulated patterns in a victim mindset. And so some of the topics that we are going to cover is the bad brain. My very first book, Saying Goodbye to Bad Brain. Man, it still holds water. I know it's only been a year. But I still reference it and give it to clients because there's really valuable information in there on how all of this started. I feel like this has all been a gift to me. I really feel like this is a mission in my life that I'm starting to kind of come into, that this was what I was meant to do. This is why I was born, is to understand these neurological patterns, to let go of the shame and belief, and then pull out these principles that help us to live more purpose-driven, happier, joy-filled lives. And so as we learn about the bad brain, what we learn about are these cycles that we get into. And as we learn about the cycles, we learn about the negative dynamic. And right in the center of that negative dynamic is universal constructs. And universal constructs are the 5 things we all need in life. We all need in life. And that is what gets so messy, is because the second we perceive that we don't have that and we need to defend or protect, life gets sticky. Life gets very, very sticky, and we are no longer present. We are in a perceived reality. We are looking through life from a very specific lens. And we've got articles that I've already written about your archetype, so we're really running out of space in the video description, but if you go to my blog, you can kind of zoom down on the roles and you can see that we have roles and archetypes of how we view the world. And so that stuff starts to come up. That's also part of part 2, emotional regulation and the key steps to live a happier and healthier life workbook. And as we get into these universal constructs, we start realizing some important concepts. We realize the important concept that grief is not suffering and despair. Remember yesterday, and in the first section, we learned that suffering and despair and gratitude are on the same spectrum. Pulling on that and moving it over, because it's such an important concept, we're going to look at a little bit of a different lens with it, a little different perspective, looking at grief. And traditionally, culturally, we see grief as suffering and despair. But truly, grief is a journey to acceptance, gratitude, strength building, growth mindset, value. And as we learn all the reasons that grief is available to us, because it's a thread coming throughout and woven throughout our day and our lives, it's easier for us to be present with it. And as we're present with it, then we can start to understand how to look at these perceived realities and manifesting kind of positive energy. And as we're manifesting the positive energy, we're also trying to build distress tolerance and stress management. We're trying to be more present in the here and now and being more aware of when we're getting upset. And as we're aware we're getting upset, then it's not like, you did this is all your fault. You're making me so mad right now. No. God, that hurt. Doesn't it hurt? It hurts so much to have that anchor. And it doesn't serve us. And you get so tense. I'm so tired of being tense. And what this journey has allowed me to do, pull those shoulders out from my ears. It's let me to relax. Somatic therapy really helped too. And if you want some coaching on that, please reach out to me, because man, does it change your world. That body does keep score. It wants me to relax my mind. And when I relax my mind, I relax my jaw. If you've ever taken time to notice how often you're actually clenching your jaw, clenching your fist, you're clenching and, your shoulders. And so what we're doing is we're releasing all of that. We're noticing what we do. And as we notice what we do and we are accountable for what we do and who we are, we're letting go of shame. We're letting go of blame. We're reducing defensiveness. We're neutralizing that space that we said we're going to create, a safe space to come into. We're looking at our side of the street and we're cleaning our side of the street up. We're not worried about cleaning up other people's side of the street. Or if they're not cleaning it up. We're worried about us. And it's not selfish. It's not a narcissist. It's nowhere near. It's being present with who we are. It's finding the good enough self and pulling us back into a purpose, a meaning, an intention, finding balance and empowerment to be present with our partner. And as we're present with our partner and we're present with ourselves, we're building trust and intimacy. We're opening lines of communication. There's so many good things that we can do, and that's what this class is all about. It's tapping into your best self and learning how to pull all of the best things out of you, and teaching you that all the stuff that's holding you back is somebody else's junk. It's their baggage. And what we're going to do, especially in the second section, is decipher what is our baggage and what is other people's baggage, and why are we bringing old suitcases into our relationship. And it's allowing us to let go of the things that don't serve us and to hold tight and really find precious the things that do. And if this is something that is interesting to you and you'd like to know how to have a happier, healthier, more joy-filled, purpose-driven relationship, then go into the video description, click on the registration link. For Thursday, May 15th, we are opening up registration. And when we open up registration, we are going to give 25% off to anybody who notates YouTube as the reference code. 25% discount. That is a massive savings. To have lifelong learning, you can go back to these videos over and over and over again. And every time you go back, there is a comment discussion section. So you could finish the course now, put in a couple of comments that you had. You can go back and search for those comments. If like 3 years from now, you're like, oh, babe, we've done this before. Like, this is exactly where we had the problem last time. Okay, so how did we fix it? Oh yeah, what we did is we followed these steps. But what we really learned was, when we go back to those journal prompts, is this is a huge thing right here. And these are the things that we need to really work out, because they creep in as we get more stressed out. And so it's lifelong learning. There is 24/7 support. There's active support, not really 24/7, but there is active support. So the people creating this masterclass is actually available to you to answer the questions that you have. There's opportunities to get into coaching sessions, so you can have one-on-one couples coaching if there's something you really want to work through. And there is learning for all learning types. So I've really made a comprehensive plan for you to be able to learn in your best style. So go click, start to register, and get started on a transformation journey of writing the next chapter in your love story. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you like it, please share it with somebody. We are all stuck in these loops, and it's important for people to understand that you are not alone, that there's no shame in this game, and that this is a predictable behavior we expect because of how the brain works. And if you like the idea of knowing that you are part of the majority, not the minority, if you want to know more about the brain, how to help with social and emotional intelligence, how to understand how it is to calm down from being an anxious high achiever, then please subscribe and stay connected to my feed. I've got tons of videos that go through the neurological process of trying to retrain the brain for a response reaction and letting go of this 95% of decision making that is implicitly driven and reactionary. And for my couples out there, I'm really excited to click on the link right now and be able to get and sign up for, we're opening up this week, our Couples Masterclass. We have asynchronous learning, that is you going in on your own time with your partner, no diagnoses, no records, treatment plans, no notes, nothing. It's you and your partner learning the foundational key principles to what builds a happier and healthier self. And the whole intention, after 27 lessons broken down into little two-minute bites, is to write the next chapter in your love story. So go in, sign up, subscribe. I've got a lot more in store for you. So go in, sign up, subscribe. I've got a lot more in store for you.